Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, today is not Truth Be Told, but we are having a special for you ladies today. This evening is, as I said, not our usual Truth Be Told session. We will be speaking with our professional women about the upside of downsizing. This is for the middle-aged women, those who consider themselves the sandwich generation. Do you know what that is? The sandwich generation are those who are taking care of their parents and their children at the same time. And of course, the empty nesters. The kids are gone and you're living your life like it's golden. Well, thank you for joining us. And I am so excited. I have some amazing women that are going to be sharing their professional aspects of what they do best. And this is something that will help us as we go through life's journey and the changes that we go through. We want to be equipped, we want to be empowered, we want to be able to make the right decisions for ourselves and for our families. So I am excited to have with us at our roundtable, we have Michelle Chu, Alexia Daley, and Jennifer Gold. And I am so happy to have each of you with me this evening. How are you doing, ladies?
Great.
Super fantastic.
Good. I am so excited. We here at Facebook Live, we just want to share with everyone about our professions and how important it is for us to really connect with professionals like yourself. So we have online, we have Michelle Chu, who talks about the financial aspects. We have Alexia Daley, who talks about the real estate aspects. And then we have Jennifer Gold, who is going to talk legal talk. And of course, myself, as many of you know, I deal with funeral and cemetery. So let us begin. And we're going to start off with Michelle, and she's just going to give us a little introduction about herself. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be with you all, especially we're in a lockdown for almost 14 months now. So as Michelle said, my name's also Michelle Chu, and I've been with World Financial Group for the past 10 years. And I've been helping people just understand financial literacy. But just before even entering into this field, I'm going to tell you, I have a background in education. I've been in the Toronto District School Board for over a decade, a math high school teacher, and not a clue about financial literacy, which is why got me jumping onto this platform to learn for myself. So I'll be happy to share more in a bit, but that's where I'm at right now. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you. And Alexia, tell us about you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That was great. The other Michelle. So I've been in real estate. Over 10 years. I am a real estate broker. I currently work for eXp Realty, which is a cloud-based brokerage online, but I was with Century 21 for, I think, a little over 9 years, where I practice residential and commercial. So in terms of, I guess, what we're going to be talking about, not only do I come in at the beginning of someone's life when they're first-time home buyers, I do come in at the end when people are looking to downsize. So it's interesting to watch the transition and the different stages of life that people go through with real estate. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Awesome. And Jennifer Gold?
Hi, Michelle and Alexia. I want to thank you for having me on the program. I think programs like this are so important for educating women, especially, and racialized women. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is power. And so, congratulate you for launching this and for continuing this program so that women can get information from other women. And I just want to say I'm a lawyer. I practice in Peel Region. I do wills and estate planning as well as family law. I've been practicing for 19 years now. I'm a partner of the firm Wood Gold. It's a 10-lawyer law firm in Peel. And I'm also president of the Women's Law Association of Ontario, which is an organization about advancing women lawyers in the profession through support, networking, and smashing that glass ceiling.
Wow. Awesome. So you guys are absolutely amazing. And I am so excited again for the dialogue that we're going to have tonight and for the master classes that we will be doing this month and right into June. Again, I am a licensed cemetery director and funeral pre-planner representative. I work at Arbor Memorial and I've been there since 2017, actually. So it's been a few years and I'm enjoying it. So tell me, what led you to your profession? So we kind of have an idea about, what got you into the career choice that you have chosen. So Michelle, you can start.
Well, thank you, Michelle. So as I said, I actually am born and raised here, but I am a product of immigrant parents, okay? So they are from China and Singapore. And when they came here, they really worked hard for their money. And I really just saw them very disciplined, put money away all their life. And it wasn't until, I got licensed and I was able to read their financial statements that they were just putting things away, but not knowing if it was growing for them, if it was protected, if it was going to transfer to me. Every parent always say everything we do is for the kids. Yes. So all through my life, I went through school. They told me to get a good education. Yet when I land on a board of education job, everyone was very happily ticking off boxes for pension and health benefits and all this stuff, jargon that I'm going to tell you, born and raised here, 2 degrees, read and speak English, but could not, for the life of me, pick a benefits package with full confidence. Yeah. Wow. Who am I supposed to ask? Am I supposed to ask my parents who don't understand the system? Yeah. So again, your parents always want the best for you. Yet as I grew up, I realized something was missing in my mathematical equation, right? If I followed my mother would have said, put down every last penny to your first home. Thank goodness I got the education and I put a down payment on 3 homes. Wow. Okay, she lived in an era where, you guys are in real estate, it was double-digit mortgage rates, it was double-digit inflation rates. So why would her theory on how to grow wealth transfer to me? Now, fast forward, my dad was always, Asian parents, more real estate. But all he did was refinance. And you know what? When the Lord says it's your time, my dad passed away in 2013. He didn't leave us any real estate. Right. He left us mortgage and liability.
Wow, yeah.
And you know what? They never want to talk about the last wish. Never. But it's all in place, guys. Let me tell you, I learned the hard way that I had to get things in place. To this day, my mother still doesn't want to talk about it. Why? Because she knows nothing about the system and it gives her anxiety where she's going to hyperventilate and pass out. Like this is where I said to my sister, we need to take control back in our lives and educate the next generation. So this is where I went from teaching in the math classroom to still educating people in the financial world, because this is the real life scenarios that I think we need to change the next generation. So that's why I'm in this business, and it doesn't feel a day of work in my life, because this is the real stuff, guys. So thank you. Back to you, Michelle.
Great. That is awesome. And Alexia, what led you into real estate?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I get asked that all the time, and it's difficult really to come up with one answer. I always had the interest for sure with real estate, and with the onstart of all of these real estate type shows in the 90s, I started getting on board with that. And I was looking for a career where I could be myself. I noticed working in the corporate world wasn't for me because I felt like you had to be a little bit fake. And I wanted something that I could be myself and use the skills, my God-given skills that was given to me by God, by her maker, and into a career that would transpire into an area that I felt that I would be strong in. So real estate, it's the constant learning, the pressure to be creative, and of course, having a caring nature to move people from one stage to the next. I felt that was the right fit for me. And I wasn't playing too well in the sandbox in the corporate world. And real estate has really provided me an area in which I could be like myself, as I mentioned. So, and of course, creating a career that's unique. You can use your creativity, and of course, being able to help people at the end of the day. It's always changing, and I have to keep learning. And I've always been a book, kind of like a academic type person. So I love the fact that I'm constantly tested and have to be reading and doing research and just using my brain. So that's how I started.
great.
real estate. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alexia. And Jennifer, what led you to the lawyer sector, law?
Well, I guess it's a couple reasons. The superficial reason is there's a deeper reason too. There's a superficial reason. In grade 8, I did my first debate and I loved it. I was like, what can I do in life that allows me to debate?
Wow.
And use my intellect? And that led me to law. But really, like Michelle, I'm a daughter of immigrant parents, and I have been an advocate in different ways my entire life, whether it's, advocating for my parents or negotiating society or really building, independence. And so I can see why I ended up in law and I'm a lawyer. And it fits with my personality and my values and who I am.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Great. And for myself, what led me into my industry was actually my parents. My mom was doing her pre-planning, and she pulled me into sitting in the conversation with the cemetery pre-planner and funeral pre-planner, and just seeing all the information that it took for them to make their decision, what they wanted to have done, where they wanted to be, and everything. And I thought to myself, this is very important. This is very important because when they pass away, we're the ones that are going to have to take care of all of this information. And growing in the church as well, always helping people with funeral arrangements or just being by them, I thought, why not do this job? The director who was there said, you should consider doing this. And I thought, you know what, not a bad idea. So really and truly, I got into it because I saw the need for my parents. And I thought it would be something that would be very helpful to others, especially if they are, at a certain age or stage of life that need the support. And I became passionate about it because I see how it helps others. And I believe that everything that we do, all of us here on this platform, helps people. And it's something that is very much needed. So we talked about how we got into this and a little bit of the passion behind it. I can hear it in all your voices. Why is it important for us women to take control of getting knowledge in the areas of our expertise? So why is it important for the women who are listening right now, Michelle? Why is it important for them to understand and take control of their financial situation?
Well, Michelle, things are changing. I mean, back in the day, you talked to my mother, everyone was, there's a stay-at-home mom. Okay, especially immigrant families. If you go back to the East Side, everyone, you grow up and you get married, you raise kids. Now you're talking about dual income. You're not talking about even women making more money than men. Like the workforce has changed, yet the knowledge has not been passed on. As I said, if I listened to my mother, I would have done all the things that she thought was best. Yeah. But that's all she knew. Yeah. Who taught her? Who taught her when she landed in Canada? Who spoke her language? Who held her hand? Yeah. And when my dad passed away, who took care of anything? Yeah. Like, now you got 2 daughters to follow the road that my mother set because no one passed the knowledge down to my sister and I. Yeah. So schools don't teach this. Like my sister has an MBA in finance. And when we saw personal financial strategy at our personal level, she's like, why don't they teach this in school or university or post-grad? I go, I have no idea. My students ask me, Miss, do we need to learn trigonometry? I mean, oh my gosh, if anyone was watching this, when I was a teacher, I was like, of course you do. You need to know the heart rate and the rate of medicine leaving your body. But really what we need to know is financial literacy and empower women because we do live longer.
That's right.
We're left behind. Like my dad's been gone for 8-9 years now. And where are we going to change the next generation? Because it's not been done in school. So those are the things that I go, this needs to be taken into control. We need to change the next generation. So that keeps me going. That's the common mistake where they think there's going to be more time right? More time, we'll take care of tomorrow. That's one thing that no one can buy back. Like tomorrow. Right. Don't you have a lot of, we'll take care of, tomorrow. Even this pandemic, it's, when the pandemic is over. We'll deal with it. So that's where I'm thinking, you know what? We got to get to the root of it. And the core of it is education and a platform to really ask questions in a safe space.
That's
Back
right.
to you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. Alexia, just add to that, because again, she's talking about financial literacy. Real estate is something, and again, sorry, to add to what you're saying, Michelle, when we start early enough with the financial literacy, it helps us prepare for the later years in our lives so that we're ready for retirement, right?
Definitely.
We're ready for that financial change that comes when we hit, I'm going to just say, let's say 60 or 65, when, maybe you're retired and now you're getting CPP or whatever the case may be. It changes. So Alexia, now I'm going to pull you in and talk about the fact of what you do. What is important for women to take control of as it pertains to real estate?
Yeah, in terms of home ownership, whether it be land, could be commercial unit, I really believe that real estate is a great equalizer. And as much, people go nuts, it's so expensive, Toronto's so expensive. If you pick a small town anywhere in Canada, you can find properties that an average person on an average income can purchase. You may not be able to live there because you're, 3 hours away, but if you really want to build wealth, I completely believe real estate is one way to do it. I know you may not be able to buy in Toronto market. Buy something in New Brunswick, $30,000. You can pick up properties in Nova Scotia, $100,000. Invest outside of the province. And I think it's so important for not only women, immigrants who are after that dream. Isn't that the dream that we all have? Home ownership. That is the ultimate Canadian dream. We hear about the American dream. Canadians have a dream too. Yeah. Whether you're born here or immigrate here, we all want to own something. And I believe real estate is the way to do that. It is the greatest equalizer. And with that wealth that's built, wealth brings power. And then you can help someone else or leave that behind for your own generational wealth and, leaving an inheritance for your children. So I really believe, I like that Michelle, she's mentioned quite a few times about the immigrant experience. And I 100% believe this is why so many come here, because it is possible. And it may not be possible where you live, but open up your eyes, expand those borders, and jump into home ownership or buy land. They say buy land and just let it sit, but at least you own something. And that's just a great way to start. And any woman can do it. Any young person can do it. Any immigrant can do that, and pool your resources. You don't even have to do it alone. Go in with somebody, right? Buy a duplex, buy a triplex together, because now you've got 3-4 people together building wealth together. There's no shame in that. And then once you build equity in that, then you can sell it and then buy something on your own. So there's lots of ways to achieve wealth in this country. And I firmly believe that real estate is one of the easiest ways to do that.
Excellent. And so, Alexia, so even with real estate, then later on in life, that becomes an asset, or when you need it, talk about just a little bit on that aspect of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, when we talk about downsizing, one of the main reasons why people do that, they want to tap into the equity in their home. I mean, we know countless stories. I mean, I know somebody downtown Toronto area, they paid like $50,000 for that 2-story home. They've been in it since the 50s, I believe. That house now is worth $2 million as is. They haven't done anything. They don't even have a garage.
Listen, Alexia, listen. We don't want to give it all away. They're going to come to your masterclass and get the details. Come on.
Right.
Listen.
But but they've stayed in it, because not everybody has the chops to go out and keep buying properties. People are nervous about that, but that's okay.
Right.
Just buy one and then stay there forever.
Okay. Thank you, Alexia. Thank you.
Love your passion, Alexia.
You're great. So Jennifer, now legal. Let's talk about legal. What's important for women to understand about taking control about their legal, responsibilities? What's Give us just a little tidbit on that part.
Well, we're hearing that wealth is power. Well, I have to say that knowledge is power.
That's right.
Many lawyers will provide free consultations, and there's no harm in accessing that to gain information. For instance, I do wills. So you can get information about the different components of a will and why it's important, what happens if you don't have a will.
Yeah.
This information is accessible, and by accessing a lawyer, you can get advice for your particular situation. And during the masterclass, I'm happy to go through the different components of those documents. And in addition to wills, there's powers of attorney. But ultimately, the reason why this knowledge and information is important is because none of us can really predict what's going to happen in life. People never plan on going through a separation or divorce. Plan on the death of a loved one quite often because it's painful. And so if you are prepared for any eventuality in life, any emergency, even this pandemic of all things, then it'll stand you in better stead. You'll land on 2 feet and you'll be much better for it. And my mom told me, be independent, don't depend on anybody. Be able to land on your 2 feet no matter what life throws you. And that was like the best advice. Knowledge and information is a way to help you with that, whether it's financial know-how, which is so important. I've had clients who've been in marriages for 20, 30 years, but their spouse managed all of the finances and they don't have a clue. And it's a stressful time for most people going through a separation and divorce, but then to have that added stress just to figure out how to live. I want to make sure that women out there and the next generation doesn't have those challenges, and no matter what life throws at them, they're going to be okay.
Excellent. I think this is a great conversation. So with my piece of it, I believe that the important thing that women need to understand with the funeral and the cemetery aspect is to make sure that they have something in place. Because what happens is they have their family, their children or spouses, or even if it's a sibling situation, that they want to make sure that they're not leaving them with the decision, which is impacting them financially. So that affects Michelle's part, the real estate aspect, which affects Alexia's part, and then the legal aspect, which is Jennifer's part. You want to make sure that you have everything in place, that your family is at ease and that they don't have to worry about selecting funeral and cemetery property and arrangements while they're grieving, because there are so many other moving parts that are going to take place at the time of passing and then thereafter. Again, possibly the downsizing, possibly the financial situation or legal aspects. This is something that they can definitely take care of and make sure that everything is in place and leave their family at a more at ease state of mind. Right? So there are common mistakes that women make in regards to their assumption about your expertise. Name one each. What do you think is a common assumption that they make about your industry? And it could be a myth. It can be just a general thing. But Michelle, what do you think is a common assumption?
So I had 3 written down, but I'm going to say one thing is that I already mentioned it. It was that we all have time. I've already talked about that. The second one is that it's hard and difficult. Listen, I was the person who said, oh my gosh, take my money, make it grow, don't bother me. Like I'm a math teacher and that's how I started. Take it and make it grow. Don't bother me until I'm 65. But the third one is what I want to talk about is that one size fits all. That's a myth, okay? I'm going to talk about, you got to look at, are you in your growth phase? Life stages. Are you going from 20 to 50-year-old? Then from 50 to 65 years old, you're talking about transitioning. From 65 plus, you're thinking of decumulation and retirement. And after that, the fourth phase is generation wealth transfer. It doesn't, you don't take one strategy and go all 4 generations can do the same thing. Like I'm going to ask my mom. My mom is in the generation wealth transfer. I'm still growing. Why
Yeah.
are we going back to our parents who are in a different stage? So the one size fit all, I've done it back when I was 20, still suits me today, is what is really screwing everyone up, because they're like, I'm good. That's a false, that's a myth. False security. And I think we need to debunk that myth right once and for all. That's what I think is the most valuable. Back to you, Michelle.
Great. You summed it up pretty quickly too. That's great.
I like when she says, back to you, Michelle.
I know. I was
like somebody
I know. Back to you, Michelle. Well, thank you, Michelle.
No problem.
So, Alexia, how about you? What do you think? What is an assumption?
The assumption that it can't be done. I think that's a biggie. A lot, and the world does not revolve around the GTA. Think outside the GTA, because if you only focus on that, you probably can't do it. And I want people to understand it can be done. You just got to stretch your legs, cross that border. You don't even need a passport to buy a property in another province. You know, just stretch your legs and open up your eyes and just figure out, how can I do it? And you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with a friend, you can do it with a parent, whoever, right? But pool your resources and find a way, because real estate, doesn't matter what cycle, don't be afraid, it'll go down, but it always rebounds and it comes back up. They say, don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and then you wait. And that's the secret. So it can be done. You just have to be creative sometimes.
I've never heard that saying before. I like that.
You like that? Yeah.
I like it.
Did you make it up?
No, I read it somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're always reading, so yeah, of course. And Jennifer, what do you think? What are some assumptions that people think in your industry?
Well, I'm sure everybody's heard lawyer jokes.
Yes.
Yes.
I won't tell them. I don't know any. But a lot of people, I think, a lot of people after meeting me comment, wow, you're so down to earth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what were you expecting? Expecting someone really stuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing is, you don't look like a lawyer.
Yes.
That might have something to do with me being brown, maybe, but I'd like to think not. But, really, we're human. I'm a mother. I am in the sandwich generation. So, I speak to people on the same level, because, we're just humans at the end of the day. And, nobody's better than anyone else. And we should just really just help each other.
Yeah,
you know what? It's television that does it. It's the stereotype. You watch those shows, you grab your latte in the morning, you've got your assistant waiting for you, you're wearing $2,000 suits, and half the lawyers are just regular people. That's all that it is, right? It's TV. If I saw you in the street, I wouldn't say, "Hey, you look like a lawyer." I probably wouldn't think that either, right? Because we're all victims of these stereotypes, right? And we're here to break them. So
that's right, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And
except Michelle, you're a math teacher, so I'm not surprised by that.
Oh, yeah. That is so stereotype.
I fell into that, but I was trotting around the world, living abroad and everything. But yes, I thought that would give me a passport around the world. Yeah, but I found something better. I need to educate everyone else.
That's great.
That's right.
That is too funny. Alexia, we'll leave those jokes up to you. Oh my God. Yeah, well, in my industry, I think the thing that people assume is that, one, they want to delay it because they're afraid of having the conversation. Nothing bad will happen when you have the conversation. I promise you, nothing will happen. It does not change your world when you have the conversation. So that's one of the things that I know people are assume the worst of. The other thing is, don't think that you can't. Men don't usually want to plan. So women, don't think that you have to wait for them all the time to have the conversation. For some reason, I don't know why, if there's men out there watching the program, I'm not sure why it is that you don't like to have this conversation, but it's okay. Don't worry, it's okay. And then the women, we're always leading. we tend to lead when it comes to these things. So that's the part that I find is one of the assumptions that I have to deal with in my industry. But ladies, we are down to the wire. And I think that we've started a great conversation. I know that a lot of people are going to be interested in joining us on our masterclass. We do have the link down below on Facebook and in YouTube, so people can start registering for each of the segments. Again, we have Michelle Chu, who will be on May 20th. We have Alexia Daley that will be on May 27th, and Jennifer Gold will be on June 3rd. I will be a part of all the segments, of course, but it will be very good for you to register, get knowledge. Knowledge is power, as one of our speakers said. Education is power. And we're going to learn some tips and tools that will help us, guide us to making our lives a whole lot more better, more stable, and just amazing. Because as I tell you from the podcast that I usually do, we are amazing women, and everything that we do and anything we touch or put our minds to, we do it at a great level. Ladies, Michelle, Alexia, and Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today. I am so glad. You guys want to say anything before we leave?
Thank you for having us, Michelle, and we'll see you all in those sessions. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you again. And everyone, thank you again. Follow Michelle Lorraine on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and share and like. Have a good night. Thank you, and see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for